I'm certain you've got your favourite tools in Photoshop. Everyone probably has a favourite tool. Well, gradient's probably mine, but also custom shapes. Custom shapes are one of the most powerful features of Photoshop, and in this video I'm going to show you the life of a custom shape, how to bring them in, how to import them, and also how to apply them. And you can apply them in thousands of ways, and you can also use them with many of the new features that come with Photoshop, especially if you're using the beta. So let's go over here. Here's the custom shape tool. It's the custom shape tool, and you can access all the shapes you've got currently in your shapes panel. It's up here. So straight away you can see all of your shapes. Now you probably haven't got that much interest in wild animals, leaf trees, boats and flowers. Legacy shapes probably are very useful, and you can expand this out and see lots. But you can also import your own custom shapes, and you can find thousands and thousands of them on the web. So let's just go over here and just bring them in. Simply go here and down to import shapes. That's all you need to do. All the custom shapes in Photoshop, however they were created, you might have created them in Illustrator, all those sort of things, they're all going to be stored in CSH files. So import shapes, and you'll see it there. There is a file, and you can simply select that. Now, unfortunately, that shares the same one in Windows with shell extensions. But other than that, once you've selected it, and you can select multiple ones using the import, so it's really quite easy to have 50 files brought in. And you can click open. Now, if you're using an earlier version, a lot of these features you wouldn't have. But the shapes would still be here, and instead you would have a load and replace. That was the functionality back in the CS6, CS5, etc. You had a load and replace. You could load them. It was great, but now you've got this folder structure, and you can select the custom shape you want to use from here. So I'm just going to go down here. These ones are embellishment shapes, swirl designs, all created in Illustrator, and then imported in and added to this file. So I'm just going to select one of them, one of these designs. And there's lots of them. Lots of CS files, CSH files contain 50 or 100 different designs, maybe 500 designs. I'm not certain there's a limit. But you can simply select it, and then it's a vector design as well. So the great thing about vector designs, it can be any size. So if you want to work with a document that's 10,000 by 10,000, you can work with that shape at that size. You can't do that with brushes. It's a pixel design. This you can. So simply add it. How it's added is different depending, you can see the design there. Depends on this. And sometimes it's probably best to change the stroke. Sometimes the stroke is too big and you'll notice loads of imperfections. Just reduce it down. So go for, say, 0 initially. And then you can try it out. So you make it like there, and you can see the design there. You've got the fill and the stroke still set to red, but it's set to 0, which means you won't see any of those imperfections. You can increase it, of course, you can just increase it like that. But you notice there, sometimes the application will just introduce lots and lots of these sharp designs. Not most of the time, but sometimes it will. You can see there, using just 1.4 pixels, you can see that there's no imperfections. You can change the fill. Now this is using shape, and you'll see up here in the top left, you got, and I think this is one of the great features of custom shapes, is that you've got 3 modes. This has been the case for all the way. Photoshop 6, Photoshop 7, 8, 9, whatever. All the different versions of Photoshop. This has stayed the same. So you've got shape, though it was using buttons instead of a drop down. If you go for shape, it's a new layer. If you go for path, it's a useful one. Path is very useful for lots of things, for selections, etc. But you've also got pixels, which is used as a pixel layer. And again, very, very useful. But I'm going to go here with shape. And with the shape, I can move it around. I can resize it. Simply just drag there. And you can rotate it. So you can literally, from the same shape, you can create thousands of different designs. Press return. Now what you can also do is you can modify it. So if you want to, you can go over here. You've got, now it's a vector design. The vector design is made of points. Again, it was created in Illustrator. Maybe sometimes it's got a few too many points. That's one of the things that sometimes you can remove them. Sometimes you can just say, so direct selection tool, just go there and then you can select it. So you can click there and drag, and you can also press delete. It'll say yes, just go there and you can delete it. Now sometimes the result is not great. You might want to just put it back to that. But again, you can select any of them and tweak it just slightly. If you want to create, again, don't show again, yes. And you can just shift that up and so on. So you can create even more shapes from a single shape design. So it's not limited just to what you've got. And it's not changing the one stored away in the actual custom shapes panel. So that's a really great thing as well. This is totally unique. You can also change the fill color, so you don't have to use this. You can select any number of fills. So you can create literally all kinds of different color designs using this. You can also use patterns. So you can select patterns there. You can see, use those, zigzag designs, as well as just solid colors. And you can change them all anytime. So you go over here to the layers panel and you can see it. It's a layer. You see it says shape 31. Not very great name for it. Now that's one great feature, the shapes. Say you've got shapes here and you're looking for, say, let's just call something scroll. Let's just double click that. You can double click it and you can say scroll. So I'm just going to call it scroll. And you can call it anything you want. Now you can search for it. So at any point later you can go, oh, I want to look for scroll. There it is. So you can access it and then you can use it. Just drag it over there and apply it like that. Or just go over here, press return. Again, go to the custom shape tool, click there. Now, unfortunately, that doesn't have the search feature, which is a pity. That's one of those things that you think, why not? But it doesn't. But again, you can see the design there, and there it is. If I hover over there, it should say scroll. So again, you click there, and you can apply it. And again, you can see the colour there, and it's applied again as a layer. So go to the layers panel, and you can see you've now got these multiple layers, which you can then manipulate. Simply go there, select that one, and you can go up here, and you can change the blend mode. So go for linear burn, or go for soft light, or hard light. Go to the move tool, and then you can resize it. So maybe decide, make it very small, and you got some transformation. This is using the contextual taskbar. This is a new feature of version 24.5, and you can press return. And you can then go up to window, and there's the contextual taskbar. If you don't want that feature, you can always remove it. But it's a great way of creating all kinds of different variations of shapes and designs. And again, it pops up, press return. Also, what you can do, you can combine them. So again, press return. You can press return up here as well, but now you can just simply press return or just click it there. You can duplicate that, so hold down the Alt Option key and duplicate that design. And those two shapes can be selected. So you can select that one and that one. So you can set both of them, and you can go to Layer, and you can go to Combine Shapes and Unite Shapes. So you can create yet another unique shape very quickly. You can also use Subtract. So as a life of a design, it literally thousands and different combinations of, and there's that design there. And what you can also do is you can then save that edit, define as a custom shape. So you can store that away in your custom shapes panel. So you can use it in future. So you create a unique shape, you can store it away and just simply define it. You can see the design there, click OK. And also you can apply effects to these. It's a vector shape. And as soon as you do it, let's just go up here. So filters. And you can go to blur, say Gaussian blur, any of the effects. Gaussian blur. And it will come up and say, do you want to rasterize it? Which basically means turn it into a pixel layer. Or do you want to convert it to a smart object? Smart objects mean you can still modify the underlying shape. So you can keep it as a vector design. You can tweak it later. I'm going to go with that option. Click that. And now you can see the Gaussian blur effect applied to that shape. Click OK. And you can move that around, change that, resize it. Again, click OK. When it ever pops up like that, rotate it, press return, and you've got your blurred design. And you can duplicate that as well if you wish. So that's vector shapes. Literally, you can distort it, change it, transform it. Whole load of different options. So edit, transform, maybe warp it. Again, click OK. Just warp that shape. Again, create very unique shapes using that scroll design and press return. Again, it's blurred. You've got the end result and so on. You can also use it as a great source for brushes. So if you've got that one, got that design there, you can go over here, make certain you don't see that, don't see that, don't see that, and see that. Oh, that's the one we want to keep. So that's the only one. What you can do, you can then go over here, you can select that area. So select it, you've got the background there, edit, and define brush preset. So custom shapes can be used as a great source for brushes. And because you can apply other effects other than that, literally thousands of other designs can be created. So click OK. Always go to filters. This time maybe distort and wave. And you can see the result of that just in this very small preview. Number of generators you can reduce down, click OK. And you can see that design, and that can be edit and define pattern. So you can store that design as a pattern. You've got this selection around it, needs to be rectangular, and click OK. And deselect. And so on. Also, you can just bring them back. But it's a great source for all... You could use it for displacement maps as well to create underlying distortions. I've only shown you the shape layer. But what you can also do with these is... So I'm going to select that one, just go back there. And now you just got the background layer. Just go to the custom shape tool again and you've got path. So path, you can just add the path there. You can see the path. Doesn't have a fill, doesn't have a stroke. What you can do with it, you can turn it into a selection. So you can use this as a great source for selections. Go to Window and Path, and you can see your path there, work path. Go here, right side menu, and make selection, or fill it, or stroke. And make selections. It's always a pity that they've never added additional features to this. I would love to see a lot more features. Paths haven't been changed for a long time. But you can click OK, and you can then see your selection. Now with the latest features, you've got this contextual taskbar again. This is in the latest version. You can go down here. You've got fill pattern, so click there, fill pattern. You can go with the one you just created, so just go down here. There's the pattern design. Select that. Set the script. You can set it maybe to symmetry. So you've got that pattern design there, symmetry, custom, and click OK. And you can see the design that's created there using number 7, and you can change these settings. So literally millions and millions of different designs can be created from that shape, which can also be used to fill that shape like that. So you've got now this beautiful, unique, filled scroll design very quickly using this approach. And of course you can still apply effects to that. So filters, stylize, oil paint, and click OK. And you can distort it and create things like that. So select and deselect. But also what you can do is you can apply this design just as like there. You can drag it over, apply it like that as a shape layer. Let's just remove that. You can also select the custom shape tool and go up here and select pixels. Now, unfortunately, you can't drag that from here and use as pixels. That doesn't work like that. It will only turn it into a shape layer if you drag it from the shapes. But now, if you apply it shape, pixels, you can just apply it very basic like that. Unfortunately, there's no fill, there's no pattern feature for that, which is slightly more not so useful, but it's still very useful to simply apply it, change the colour, go like that, and then you can add it again, and so on. So you can build up all kinds of complex designs very quickly using this approach. And you've also got options. So not only have you got this, you've also got blend modes. So you can go up here and you can say difference. I've got blue here, so that will be applied, and it will be applied, obviously the colour, how it blends. Using difference blending mode, the blue and the red interact in that style, as well as the underlying other scroll design. Also, you can apply it with different opacity. So you can go over here, just use blend mode of normal again, and maybe set it to 35, and you can apply it a couple of times, and you can create some very nice, unusual paint-like effects very quickly by applying it multiple times. And you change your colour as well. Don't have to apply it always with the same colour. Also, you've got options. So you can go here and you can see you can add it a particular size, a fixed size. So click there and you might turn around and say 200 pixels. 200 pixels. And now you apply it and you can just simply click. Click there. Oh, just drag, click and drag. If you click it like that, it will bring up this custom, which is not what I want. So just click and release. Just there, just drag it across and release. Click and drag and release. You have to do it that way. If you don't, like I say, it always pops up that other panel. Slightly odd way it works. And there, you can create all kinds of designs very, very quickly using these custom shapes. And at any point, you can always go over here, shapes, and you can still go down here and import more shapes. Now, if you want to, you can always go over here. Maybe you've got a load of set shapes that you really like. Lots of different shapes. You might have 10 or 15 shapes that you use all the time. You can select them. So let's just get rid of that. And you can select, say, these ones. So you've got, say, 3 or 4, 6. These are the shapes used all the time. You can always go over here and then you can export them. So that's the life of a custom shape. Custom shapes are just some of the best features of Photoshop that literally can be used throughout the application to create all kinds of unique designs. Also works well in combination with Illustrator. So Illustrator, I haven't got Illustrator, so it's one of those ones that I can't do. But if you've got Illustrator, the custom shape can be then copied into Illustrator. Different effects can be added, applied. You can modify it in numerous ways. You can bring it back into Photoshop and use it there. Also, what you can also do now, really useful feature with, again, custom shapes, you've got Window, and you can go down to Libraries, and this is another great source for all kinds of different designs. Go down to the bottom here, click this plus, and you've got Extract from Image. Doesn't seem very much, but you've got patterns, and you've also got shapes, and you can see what happens there. You've got this shape. And you can then create a custom shape using this approach. It will try and work out that. And you can obviously modify the setting there. And just by keeping it fairly low, you can also smooth. And you can create all kinds of unique designs that are added to your library and then added to Photoshop. It's saved and closed. And you can see the design there, a captured shape, which you can then use as a new custom shape. Well, I hope you found this of interest. Any questions about shapes, please let me know, because I think shapes are one of the great features. Do you think shapes is a great feature? I think they're absolutely superb. I know many people really don't actually use them quite often. I get lots and lots of comments. People put comments saying, oh, I've never thought about using shapes. And literally, that you can see thousands of different designs. And literally on the web, there are millions of designs that you can use that basically you can just bring in, and they're great, wonderful, unique designs like that you can apply very, very quickly. You click there again and apply that lovely scroll effect and add maybe a frame design around your image very quickly using this approach. Just go round like that. Click there, drag and release, drag and release, and so on. Build up all complex designs very quickly. Please subscribe, always adding new videos, and also a like or dislike, always appreciated. Thank you much.